Headlines of VTV News. Rice export industry poised to seize opportunities in 2024. Snowy forest in Quoc Island draws tourist attention. And China takes swift action to address earthquake aftermath.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello there and welcome to VTV News broadcast live to you from Hanoi. I'm Lina Pham with the top news of the hour. On the morning of December the 20th, General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng attended the conference of the Central Party Committee of Public Security in Hanoi, along with State President Võ Văn Thưởng and Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính. The conference was chaired by General Tô Lâm, Secretary of the Central Public Security Party Committee and Minister of Public Security. During the conference, delegates discussed and provided their opinions on the implementation results of Resolution Number 12 of the Politburo, which aims to promote the development of a clean, strong, regular, and modern people's public security force that meets the new requirements and tasks in the current situation. They also reviewed the progress made in the past 5 years in implementing Resolution Number 35 of the Politburo, which focuses on strengthening the protection of the party's ideological foundation and combating incorrect and hostile views in the new situation. General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng, on behalf of the party and state leaders, commended the achievements of the Central Committee of the party and the Ministry of Public Security. He proposed that the Central Party Committee proactively conduct research in a comprehensive, systematic, and proactive manner to ensure national defense and security, as well as expand the country's foreign relations. On the morning of December the 20th, the Central Steering Committee number 35 held a national conference to summarize 5 years of implementing Resolution 35 of the Politburo on strengthening the protection of the party's ideological foundation, fighting against wrong and hostile points in the new situation. The conference also aimed to summarize the work done in 2023 and outline the tasks for 2024. President Võ Văn Thưởng, head of the Central Steering Committee 35, attended and directed the conference. More than 500 delegates participated in the meeting. In the spirit of democracy, responsibility, and frankness, the conference dedicated the ample time to listening to delegates as they discussed and analyzed the contents mentioned in the 5-year summary report. The conference also focused on conducting an in-depth evaluation and sharing good models, creative approaches, and lessons learned. During the conference, the 35th Central Steering Committee recognized and awarded certificates of merit to groups and individuals who have made outstanding achievements in implementing the resolution. Also, on the morning of the December 20th, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ chaired a working session with agencies of the National Assembly and the government to discuss several issues related to the reception and revision of the Law on Credit Institutions project. The chairman of the National Assembly emphasized that during the 6th session, the draft Law on Credit Institutions amended version was thoroughly discussed and many valuable opinions were contributed. Various aspects were carefully considered and decisions were made. After listening to the report on the explanation, absorption, and revision of the contents of the law since the 6th session, National Assembly Chairman Vương Đình Huệ requested the agencies of the National Assembly, the government, and other relevant agencies, especially the Economic Committee and the State Bank, to continue close coordination and review each clause. This includes ensuring the need for restructuring the banking system and credit institutions, adhering to market principles and the socialist orientation, and ensuring consistency and compatibility with the legal system. Now, moving on to other economic news, it is forecast that next year the world will experience a shortage of 5 million tons of rice. Meanwhile, India is expected to continue imposing rice export restrictions. This situation presents an opportunity for Vietnam's rice export industry. Additionally, countries such as Indonesia and the Philippines, which have traditionally imported Vietnamese rice, are experiencing an increase in demand. Currently, the Philippines accounts for approximately 35% of Vietnam's rice export market share. It is estimated that this year Vietnam exported 2.7 million tons of rice to the Philippines, equivalent to $1.5 billion US. Indonesia, China, and African countries follow suit. The Department of Quality, Processing and Market Development predicts that global rice production may reach a record high of nearly 520 million tons next year, matching consumption levels. However, with global rice inventories dwindling to just over 160 million tons, this represents a significant opportunity for Vietnam's rice industry. The Long Thanh International Airport project is being constructed in Binh Sơn Commune, Long Thanh District. It is anticipated that by 2030, the entire project will be finished and capable of accommodating 100 million passengers and handling 5 million tons of goods annually. Taking advantage of these benefits, Dong Nai Province is actively promoting the advantages of Long Thanh International Airport with the aim of developing Long Thanh District into an airport city.
According to the plan, Long Thanh District is being developed as an airport city. This urban area will include industrial centers, commercial services, logistics facilities, conference venues, offices, medical facilities, restaurants, hotels, smart urban areas, entertainment areas, and an efficient traffic system surrounding Long Thanh Airport. The goal is to fully utilize the airport's potential.
Our goal is to attract investment and facilitate development, all while catering to the needs of 100 million visitors annually. Additionally, this presents a valuable opportunity for the steady growth of the airport's future endeavors.
Long Thanh District covers an area of over 43,000 hectares. This area offers a combination of favorable conditions for the development of commerce, industry, tourism, and urban services. Moreover, it serves as a magnet for attracting investors due to its accessibility to all 5 types of transportation: sea, river, air, rail, and road.
In the airport city, other investments are not aviation, but they are follow-ons that are much more effective than in other areas. Therefore, there are certainly many types of investors who want to invest here.
These projects spread and create impacts throughout the region, as they are not limited by administrative boundaries in terms of economic development. Administrative boundaries are created for state management purposes, but in terms of social operations and economic activities, these projects extend beyond borders.
According to experts, when Long Thanh Airport becomes operational, it is expected to become the largest airport in Vietnam and the primary transit gateway in the south. Long Thanh will also be Vietnam's first airport city, bustling with economic development activities passing through it.
In the first 11 months, half of Vietnam's 146,000 labor exports went to Japan. Specifically, over 74,000 of the more than 146,000 labor exports during this period was sent to Japan. Japan is currently the leading overseas market for guest workers from Vietnam. Vietnam is currently ranked first among 15 countries and territories that export workers to Japan, both in terms of the annual number sent and the total number, which has now reached 500,000. According to data from the Department of Overseas Labor at the Ministry of Labor, Invalids and Social Affairs in November, more than 13,500 workers were sent abroad. Of these, 6,804 went to Japan, 3,907 to Taiwan or China, 1,857 to South Korea, 222 to Hungary, and 121 to Singapore. Workers were also sent to Poland, Hong Kong of China, and Malaysia. The number of African swine fever outbreaks has been rapidly increasing, with nearly 700 outbreaks reported in 45 provinces and cities. In response, the Prime Minister has issued instructions on preventing African swine fever, prioritizing the urgent vaccination of meat pigs. However, the implementation stage still faces various challenges, particularly in terms of costs, making it difficult for small pig raising households to afford the vaccine.
To date, almost 500,000 doses of African swine fever vaccine have been administered. However, this number accounts for only 0.1% of the total number of pigs slaughtered nationwide in a year.
The prices of pigs and vaccines are really high, so we need support from the authorities.
Currently, only Cao Bang province has successfully procured vaccines in large quantities for its residents. Other regions have either halted vaccination campaigns or are in the process of planning them. Millions of livestock households are eagerly awaiting ample vaccine supplies at affordable prices. To achieve this, local authorities must address policy and regulatory barriers.
The African swine fever vaccine has recently been approved for circulation. However, in the 2023 plan, we have not yet included its deployment. To obtain support, the government needs to establish a policy that provides a legal basis for the Provincial People's Committee to receive financial assistance for this vaccine.
At the same time, vaccine manufacturers also plan to reduce product prices in order to support small farmers in protecting their pig herds.
We have a production capacity of 82 to 205 US dollars doses per month and can confidently supply enough for Vietnam. The price is now reasonable considering the research cost. In the future, we will consider options to reduce prices for farmers.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development plans to include African swine fever in the list of diseases that require mandatory vaccination. This will serve as the foundation for localities to secure funding and administer vaccines to pig herds.
And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam đồng is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, students build rescue robots for landslide areas. And snowy forest in Quoc Island draws tourist attention. While many sea areas are still experiencing strong winds due to the influence of cold air, a tropical depression has crossed the southern area of Palawan Island, the Philippines, and entered the East Sea. The tropical depression is forecasted to maintain level 6 intensity and move in the west-northwest direction, passing through Trường Sa Island district in the next 24 hours. On December the 22nd, it will shift to the north-southwest and gradually weaken into a low-pressure area. The danger zones at sea in the next 24 hours is the area from latitude 7 to 11 degrees north, east of longitude 111.5 degrees. Additionally, due to the influence of cold air, the sea area from Quảng Ninh to Cà Mau, the north and middle of the East Sea and the west of Southeast Sea will continue to experience strong winds of level 6 to 7. In response to the tropical depression, the National Steering Committee for Natural Disaster Prevention and Control has issued a telegram requesting monitoring of its developments and notification to owners of vessels and vehicles operating at sea. Engaging in rescue operations in landslide-prone areas often involves inherent risks. Rescue forces must also constantly race against time and adverse weather conditions to locate victims. A group of young individuals driven by their passion for science conducted research and constructed a four-legged robot model to aid in rescue efforts. Due to the project's humanitarian significance, this four-legged robot model was awarded a special prize at the 2023 International Science and Technology Competition.
These are two robot dog models that math student Minh Đức collaborated with Trung Kiên, a computer science major, for 11 months to create. The robot development project is based on skeletal preparation of rescue dogs, resulting in two four-leg robot models with 12 moving joints. After equipping the robots with cameras, positioning devices, and lights for search and rescue functions, the team developed control software based on the robot's motion. This robot dog will be responsible for scouting and carrying items to support rescue forces.
I want to leverage the natural characteristics of animals to create a robot that can move flexibly in areas prone to landslides.
Our journey has been very long. We started with the most basic lessons on kinematics and then progressed to programming, connecting circuits, 3D printing, building prototype models, and programming day and night.
The United States Agency for International Development, or USAID, stated that the project was executed with attention to detail, meticulousness, and significant humanitarian impact at ISEF, the largest annual international competition in science and technology for high school students in grades 9 to 12.
Through research and study, students will learn about the robot's features and make improvements to perfect it.
In the future, this project aims to further develop four-leg robots with the ultimate goal of achieving practical applications.
Religious solidarity is an important content in State President Ho Chi Minh's thought on great national unity. In Quảng Ninh and Hà Nam provinces for many years, great solidarity houses have been given by the Buddhist Sangha to support fellow Catholics in difficult circumstances. So let's join our following story during this year's Christmas season.
This Christmas is especially meaningful for Nguyễn Thị Phương as she has a new house. Today, she welcomes guests from Quảng Ninh chapter of the Vietnam Buddhist Sangha, who gave her a home last year.
I'm very delighted that from now on, I won't have to worry about storm or flooding.
We have coordinated with parishes and priors to care and share the difficulties with Catholic families, including Phương family. They are supported in building a house and have a stable life.
Lê Thị Thuận house has degraded over the years. Her husband is constantly sick, so having a new house is one of the family's dreams. Along with 10 other households, the groundbreaking ceremony to build the house for Thuận was held.
Our household is in great difficulty, but receives many supports. We are very grateful for Buddhist Sangha's caring.
In recent years, the Buddhist Church of Hà Nam province has always been united in sharing difficulties with Catholic compatriots in the area, thereby making the relationship closer, promoting local socio-economic development and ensuring security and order in the province.
Over the past many years, there have been dozens of great solidarity houses in Hà Nam and Quảng Ninh provinces have given to people in difficult circumstances, including many houses for Catholic fellows. With the spirit of solidarity, mutual love, regardless of religion, practical solidarity projects have contributed to strengthening the solidarity between Buddhists and Catholics.
Winners of the Happy Vietnam 2023 photo and video competition were honored at a ceremony held in Hanoi on December the 19th. The competition received over 7,000 entries from both Vietnam and other countries over a 4-month period from June the 15th to October the 15th. The top 28 entries were awarded, and the most voted entries in each category were also recognized. The first prize in the photo category went to Bay Linh Vietnam of Phie Flying High Vietnam by Bùi Cương Quyết, a reporter from the Vietnam News Agency. The Best Video Award went to Đà Nẵng, thành phố đa dạng sinh học, Đà Nẵng, the City of Biodiversity, a short documentary by Nguyễn Thanh Pavan. Additionally, 70 photo entries and 14 videos were selected for display at an exhibition that opened on the same day. The competition provided an opportunity for people nationwide, overseas, Vietnamese, and international friends to showcase the beauty of Vietnam through their photos and videos to the world. During the Christmas and New Year 2024 holidays, Phu Quoc Island has introduced new symbolic works to enhance the experience for tourists. In addition to the golden sunshine, blue sea, and familiar entertainment venues, tourists can now enjoy a snowy forest right on this tropical island. More on this in the following.
Walking through the snow-covered forest, reminiscent of Europe, enjoying the atmospheric beauty of the temperate zone with vibrant lighting, picturesque scenery, and live music. This is the experience of Ice Jungle, which recently opened on Phu Quoc Island. The total investment budget for this project is up to $12 million.
When I step into the snowy forest, I feel like I'm no longer in Phu Quoc. I can't imagine finding such a beautiful space here.
It's very interesting and amazing. There's even snowfall here.
In 2023, Phu Quoc Island was once again honored by the American travel magazine as one of the most wonderful islands in the world. The island is renowned for its natural beauty, including stunning coastlines and pristine landscapes. In recent years, localities and businesses have developed exciting services to lure tourists, such as the snow forest located at the heart of Mayhom's capital.
Itself represents the latest technology in Korea. In more detail, 3 cutting-edge technologies have been incorporated. First is the use of 3D mapping technology with an unprecedented application.
Our goal is to elevate the level of tourism in Phu Quoc through sustainable development, thereby contributing to its key economic sector. Phu Quoc is not only a destination that should not be missed, but also a compelling reason for tourists to visit.
In addition to tourists, Phu Quoc has recently become a magnet for a large number of high-quality personnel who choose to live and work in new urban areas. The introduction of new experiential projects not only brings vitality to these urban areas, but also helps create more job opportunities and resettlements for local population.
Coming up next in our world news, China takes swift action to address earthquake aftermath. And 5 million colored lights bring Christmas cheer to Croatian town. Chinese rescue forces are working tirelessly and racing against time to find trapped victims, rescue and injured, and resettle those who lost their homes due to a massive 6.2 magnitude earthquake in Gansu and Qinghai provinces, northwest China. Despite the challenging conditions of minus 15 degrees Celsius, rescue teams have been searching through the night. In remote areas where large machinery cannot be brought in, rescue forces have been using crowbars to search house by house. As of Tuesday afternoon, thousands of temporary tents and heating equipment have been transported to the affected areas. Efforts have also been made to open up many roads to facilitate rescue and resettle. The earthquake, which occurred last Monday night, resulted in the death of nearly 131 people and injured nearly 980 others. The EU, NATO, and several other countries have criticized the attacks carried out by Houthi forces in the Red Sea. These attacks pose a threat to international shipping activities and the risk of disrupting global trade. The Red Sea serves as a vital shipping route connecting Europe and Asia through the Suez Canal. If commercial ships in the Red Sea are targeted by Yemen's Houthi forces, it could potentially block the Suez Canal. This raises concerns about the ongoing disruption of international trade, especially as it is still recovering from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. Currently, several shipping businesses have announced the temporary suspension of traffic through the Red Sea. According to the announcement by the U.S. government, the U.S. added 13 Chinese companies on the trade sanctions list on Tuesday. These companies operate in the fields of electronic component manufacturing, technology, and transportation. U.S. officials will have 60 days to monitor and investigate before deciding whether to impose stricter restrictions on these 13 companies. This could potentially result in a complete ban on their business dealings with American companies. China has not yet responded to the U.S. government's decision. Earlier this month, the U.S. Department of Commerce, Bureau of Industry and Security removed 128 Chinese entities from the trade sanctions list, but did not provide specific reasons for this action. Over the weekend, hundreds of delighted visitors from Croatia and neighboring countries enjoy a stroll through a vast park in Grabovnica near the town of Sama. The park was adorned with 5 million lights on trees, bushes, wooden cottages, and bridges, bringing Christmas cheer to the town. More details in the following story.
Zlatko Salic was inspired by his childhood dream of having a real Christmas tree to create a festival of lights in his garden in central Croatia. This festival has grown each year and now features a total of 5 million light bulbs. As a boy who lost his mother at an early age, Zlatko never had a Christmas tree at home, making this fairy tale-like festival even more meaningful to him.
If I spend the money from tickets on nothing and don't reinvest, people will have nothing new to see. I wouldn't be the first to revisit something I've already seen. There must always be something more beautiful, something more interesting. Visitors asked me if there would be more next year. I told them that if they liked it, there would be, and then I added 100,000 lights. And so it has increased every year.
Salic launched his lighting project in 2001 with 70,000 lamps. Each year, he has been increasing the number of lamps, reaching a total of 5 million lamps this year. As a result, the number of visitors to his park has also grown, with an estimated annual count of about 100,000.
It's my first time here, and it's truly a beautiful experience. Everything is exceptionally well decorated.
I'm here for the first time, and it's wonderful. The music, the lights, being in the fresh air, the walk, everything is delightful. The most beautiful part was the rock where Jesus' grave is located.
Salic says he reinvests his profits to offer something new to his visitors every year.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.